welcome to the player ratings. Today, Lou and I will be talking about that tremendous 3-0 FA Cup quarter-final victory over Fulham at the Cottage. Luckily, Louis was there. I wasn't, but Dean and Louis were there. So we'll talk about that. And we appreciate all of your support. As the banner says, remember to like, subscribe, and as Will said, we're going to Wembley. Louis, how are you today?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I managed to avoid a hangover because I was drinking so early in the day that the hangover came before I went to bed. Yeah, probably the best Mother's Day I've had in a while. Um, I think my mum was happy for me to be in such a good mood.
That's great.
I just took her for lunch and went on a walk. Funny enough, I went on the underground and I didn't even know the draw was going on. And I come out and I've got like 100 messages saying we got Villa at home, and I was like, I didn't even know it was going on. So yeah, what a day! I just got my voice back. Um, I even posted a video on Twitter. I said like the days like this don't come very often. So
Exactly.
it was nice to spend it with D, my dad, all my other friends, Louis, and all the other boys. Yeah, it was the perfect day.
Brilliant. Quick reaction to the draw. What do you think about getting Villa?
I don't really like saying I want that team or I think we could beat that. But if I was to pick out of Bournemouth, Forest, City, and Villa, if I had to pick one, it would be Villa due to they've got PSG in the Champions League.
Right.
We've beaten them twice and drawn with them once, and they've kind of played their best team every single time. I think Glasner works well against Emery, and Villa can't ignore the Premier League because they've got serious PSR issues if they don't make Europe. So they can't. I think, not take our foot off the gas, but there's not as much pressure on us in the Premier League than it is for them.
Right.
Because if they get knocked out of the Champions League, they have to make, I think, Europa League at least or the Champions League, because they're spending so much money on players' wages, and that they'll be in trouble if they don't make it.
Yeah,
What
for
about you?
me, I'm fine with it. I looked it up, but if you want to fact check me in the comment section, I'm pretty sure, I'm 99.9% sure this is the first time we'll have played the same team in the League Cup, and FA Cup in the same season. I know we played Manchester United in the 90s in the FA Cup and League one year, and then the League Cup and League the following year. But I did a quick research, so that's going to be very unique. And like you, we have the one against them this year. I'm a little worried. I was at the Villa game at home. They were a very good side technically, but you're right. The distraction of the Champions League and having to make Europe again is going to be a factor we can hopefully take advantage of. So we'll see. So, um, before we actually go into the game, I want to put up some. I have a add that to the
If
stage,
if
and
if
I
you
want
guys
to
see my eye wandering, it's because I've got one eye on the uh the Bournemouth
what's that?
City game.
Oh, okay, no problem. Well, we'll try and get through this pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So
No,
here are
no,
the
no,
stats from
no
yesterday.
rush. I'm just keeping my eye on
Okay,
it.
a little distracted. So look at the stats from yesterday. Fulham obviously dominate possession not only early but as the match went on, 71% to 29%. But they had 16 shots. We're going to get into individuals, but only three of them were on target. I thought Glasner, Louis, did a great job. People got very nervous. I did not about the start. I think Richards, Gahey, and Lacroix have been brilliant, and not just them, obviously, because you need the forwards to press and the midfield to do the job, and obviously wing backs. I think that his tactics to absorb the pressure, we've talked about this, you and I, millions of times. He doesn't mind absorbing the pressure, does not mind giving up possession, but he'll look for the opportunities to counter,
Mhm.
etc. And we didn't really give them any good chances early. But what are your thoughts on how we get to obviously Glasner later on with his great. What do you think about how we set up and
Yeah.
how the game started out?
Well, I think it was a mixture of. I said it to a lot of people who was asking me how I think the game would go. I said it's the onus is on Fulham to show something different, as we'd beaten them recently at their ground and we'd kind of nullified them. So I think it was always going to be a situation where the first 15, 20 minutes, it was going to be a bit like a boxing game, boxing match where a fighter wants to see what's the hardest punch my opponent can give me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Yep.
if I can withstand this, then you know when you see a boxer get hit with a really clean one and it doesn't phase the other fighter, and then it makes them grow in confidence, and you're like, okay, this is all you've got. So I think it was a mixture of that and us being rusty because we hadn't played in 3 weeks and it just wasn't clicking and we was giving the ball away. I think Fulham got their press really right because like they had pressing triggers, but also when we got a little bit further up at the field, they went into a lower block and they said break us down. So it was like a bit of a mixture. I don't know if there's a specific technical term you'll give for that, but
Right.
we and I think the game flipped when Lerma hit the crossbar. I think from that
Yep.
moment on,
Massive moment. I
it was
agree.
like because it was like a moment where Fulham was like, oh, this team is really dangerous in random spurts, and it kind of just caught them unawares. And I'm a big, I've always said, oh, I don't like those long throws, but a couple of those long throws just gave us a bit of confidence that we could hurt them and set pieces and just it kind of broke the game down. I feel like they had us camped in our half a bit, and I think those throw-ins just slowed the game down a bit, got the ball in their box, gave them something to think about. But yeah, it was really hard for me to take in the game technically because my heart
Yeah,
rate
because you're at
was,
the game.
was up to, yeah,
Yeah.
I was just I
Yeah.
don't think I've been that emotionally involved in a game in a long, long time. But what were your
Yeah, I
thoughts?
get it.
What was it? Did you have a similar view of it?
I was very calm. I again, I actually thought that because I mean we talked about it in the previous show. What would they do different? And they did try something different for me, and we'll get into it in a bit. But I thought starting Muniz meant they were going to be more physical, and he was in the beginning. Remember, in the beginning, he knocked
Hmm.
Gay off the ball and got the early shot. I thought starting Pereira was a good idea because he's technically more creative than ESR is and Emil Smith-Rowe. And I thought having Iwobi on the pitch and then moving him more centrally meant their focus was more central and left hand side, especially and getting to him now. Willian also created a lot of opportunities. So I thought the tactical part of it by the manager of Fulham, Silva, was good. It was different. But again, I thought that Glasner did a great job of just saying,
Hmm.
calm down, soak up the pressure. And we'll get to him in a minute or later on. But Ebbs, they 100% Lou decided he's not going to be involved in this game. They
Hmm.
double teamed him. I mean, if you look at the first 5 minutes of the game, he got double teamed every time, sometimes triple team when he got the ball. So they were like,
Yeah.
and he had like, we'll get to him later on. He had like eight passes the entire match. But
Yeah.
you and I spoke about it during the previous show. He's a moments player, not
Hmm.
just this season, always. And I said to you in the preview, if it's a chance for a moment to happen, I would back Ebbs, and he did it. So for
Hmm.
me,
Yeah.
it was amazing.
Definitely.
So yeah. So let's get into it. I was gonna throw some other stats, but we'll get to that later on. Let's get into
Yeah.
the ratings. So let's start with
Just we're just
Ken.
gonna FYI, if you're a advocate of the rating show between me and Patrick, there was a
Yeah.
certain game against Everton where I put everyone down because I was so disappointed in the performance. This one is the opposite end. So
Wembley
it's
tax he
it's
calls it. It's
it's
fine.
Wembley
Wembley tax.
tax, it's inflation. They're getting a player rating rebate. So if you see a player who you thought wasn't that high, just know I don't care because we're going to Wembley.
Fair enough. So I'll start first. I gave Hampton a 7.5, and I inflated it slightly when I saw your ratings, and you gave him 8.5. But basically, I had three saves to make, and I watched the game. I've watched it several times, back highlights. I only remember two of them, so maybe you can give me the third. It was the Robertson long shot in the first half, and the Willian when he tipped around the post, but that was going wide anyway. It might have been an Anderson header, possibly with the third save. I'm guessing.
Um, the first half, it was just like a weak header from the corner.
Yeah, exactly. That was it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
listen, credit to him. 11th clean sheet in 31 competitions, 31 appearances this season. Um, he did what he had to do. Um, distribution was very poor. 4 of 21 on long balls. 10 of 30, 10 of 27 overall. But he got the
yeah.
job done. And I'm going to say this. I absolutely love how he's brought into the club. And that's an extra point for me. Come to the crowd every time after the matches.
Mhm.
But we're gonna need him at some point to win us the cup, and I hope it comes soon because he hasn't had to do anything. Honestly, he hasn't. That's his obviously first appearance in the cup. But I'm just saying, I think he's gonna have to come up really big like he did against, let's say, United beginning of the season and
Yeah,
0-0. And if he does, we're gonna be golden. But again, yesterday I thought he was okay, but nothing spectacular. But what about you?
yeah, yeah. Commanded his box. 12 corners, I think they had, and loads of set pieces, and didn't really have any trouble. He has a great relationship with the back three, but I think you covered it all there, man. 8.5 for me, clean sheet, 3-0 semi-final. That's
Yeah.
it.
Danny Munoz, I gave him an 8. You gave him an 8.5. So you go ahead first. How do you think Munoz played?
Listen, I can't even criticize any player. I know it's the player ratings, but for me, this one, every single player, I think we spoke about it in the group chat where I said, you got to be willing to die on that pitch. And Munoz was willing to die on that pitch.
100% he was. Yeah.
He, even when he knew he couldn't run past the player, he would just battle to the end. It was just non-stop running. And the fact that probably the two players who covered the most air miles played in probably the two hardest games over the international break were probably the two players who ran the most yesterday. And it's just, you can see when a team and players will just run and play their heart out for a manager. And I think that's instilled from him. So yeah, 8.5. I didn't give anyone lower than 8.5 because I think that was the standard.
Yeah. So I mentioned already, I thought Willian coming in gave us something new to look at. And I thought that Munoz
I thought he was
did
their best player.
yeah, exactly. And I thought Munoz did a good job on him. I really do. He had the most tackles in the game, which was 3. You can see on the graphic there. 47 touches, 3 clearances, 2 of them headed, 2 interceptions, 5 recoveries, 5 out of 6 ground duels won. I thought he was really good defensively. Didn't get involved as much going forward, but we didn't need him. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought both Mitchell and their focus yesterday was on defending when they had to. And I thought both of them
Yeah.
were really, really good. But Munoz for me was very good yesterday. Let's go to Ty Mitchell. Both gave him 8.5. I just thought he was so good yesterday. I mentioned already that interesting how they tried to invert or just have Iwobi play more central. But when he was playing out wide, he got nothing out of Ty.
Yeah.
Ty was blocking crosses, blocking passes. Just really, really good stat wise. Very quickly. Not great passing, 8 out of 16, but 1 successful dribble, 2 out of 3 tackles, 1, 5 clearances, 4 headed, 3 recoveries. But let's 5 out of 6 ground duels, 1. Let's get to the Ebbs
Assist.
goal. What a brilliant take that he had on that play. I mean, honestly, just a brilliant control. I mean, he's a fullback. He's not a midfielder. He takes the ball down beautifully, looks up, plays Ebbs in, and Ebbs scores. I mean, underrated skill by Ty
Mm-hmm.
on that. Again, we've talked about having Chilwell in there and how he's pushing him, blah blah blah. But I thought Ty yesterday was absolutely brilliant. But your
Yeah.
thoughts on Ty Mitchell?
Listen, no word of a lie. There was people around us saying take Mitchell off and put Chilwell on. That's
Yeah,
how deluded
I'm
some of
telling
our
you,
fan base
it's
is.
madness. I know it's madness. It
Um,
really is. But anyway,
we always talk about being brave, and Ty getting high and wide in that position that's the bravery we need.
yep,
As much as like Chilwell coming in, he hasn't played as much, but it's definitely improved Mitchell. What a touch! Um, that's those patterns of play are what we look to do. We look to get it wide and get it into Eze in those pockets. And listen, it was perfect. What a ball from Naquara as well.
yes.
And
Don't
there
get to
was
him, but yeah, great
in
ball,
that in
great
that
ball.
play just before there was two big duels won to keep the ball. I think it was I can't remember who it was. I know Lacroix won one against Muniz, and the ref gave advantage, and then there was another one, and we won that, and then the ball went out to Mitchell. So yeah, all round, I thought it was a fantastic goal. Adama came on. I wasn't scared at all. Mitchell dealt with him again.
Yeah.
Yeah, 8.5, man, brilliant. And he deserves all these players who played in that game against Chelsea deserve this. They deserve their chance again under a proper manager.
Oh, 100%. That's a great point, by the way. Yeah, guys get to go back and go to Wembley again. You're
Yeah.
right. Uh, Maxence Lacroix, I gave him an 8. You gave him a 9. You go first. I'll pop a graphic up real quickly, but you go first on how you think Maxence Lacroix played.
So at first, obviously, Muniz is very physical. He's a bit of a chaotic striker. He's not like Jimenez. Jimenez is a bit more technical, and Muniz was not I wouldn't say getting the better of the defenders, but he was giving them issues. And then by the end of the game, he was throwing him all over the place. Muniz didn't get a sniff. He was a monster. I've given I think the three centre backs can't have less than a 9. They were just unbelievable. There's not much more I can say. I'll let you take over. I just thought he was great.
Yeah, the graphic says here had the most successful passer, 27 out of 33. Had 2 shots. He had the one header when that dropped down. Mateta almost got on the end of early on and that corner kick. 4 out of 9 long balls, but the best one was a ball to tie. It was a brilliant ball. We talk about in the past about how great of a distributor Anderson is, but let's be honest, Lacroix is almost as good and is much better one-on-one defender, and which is why I highly rate him. 3 blocks, 6 clearances, 4 headed, 3 interceptions. Was impervious. Muniz upset me yesterday. Not,
Oh,
I really
he
rate
was
him.
disgusting.
What
Disgusting.
ridiculous, man! On the ground every second, and I was
That one for
one
Walton as well, where he was. I know Walton tapped out, but he was
right.
rolling around.
Exactly. Disappointed for me because again, rate him as a footballer, but that was pathetic. It was really bad. But again, Lacroix gave him nothing. He did. Mooney did have that one time when he actually spun Gahey for that shot that he had in the
Yeah,
second minute. That aside did nothing, but I thought Lacroix
yeah.
was excellent.
Do you
I
know?
agree that you
Do you know?
probably deserve a 9, but I'm being a little bit
Do you-
tougher today. Go
yeah. Do
ahead.
you know what's funny as well? You know how much the start of the season, all the generic comments from pundits and fans about the whole Anderson Lacroix switch, about Palace sending him and bringing
Yeah,
Lacroix in. Then it
yeah.
was there live, national TV, millions watching.
Talk to me now.
Even if the last game where we won 2-0 and he scored an own goal and Lacroix was excellent there, it's happened again. And it's shown, now everyone's like, even Fulham fans are like, what? They fleeced us. So listen, again, great. And people moaning about like Glasner bringing his own signings. How lucky are we that we got that
Yeah.
player for 15 million euros?
And I mentioned yesterday on the Matt Track, if you haven't seen it, me and Ham were on. Great to have Hambo back. But I mentioned yesterday, I was at the Leicester game, which was Lacroix's first start. And in that game, he played in the left side of a back three. And I already told you, the main stand is one of the worst places to sit anyway, because people moan about everything. They were moaning. The guy I'm telling you, this is his first start, Why would we buy this guy? He's not any good. He's got no left foot. And I'm saying to myself, well, wait a minute. It's his first start. He's 2-footed, but obviously predominantly right-footed. And you're going to slay him after like 45 minutes. Again, what were we down? We were 1-0 down at halftime? Maybe it might have been 2-0
Yeah,
No, it was 1-0 and he
no,
scored early
1-0.
second half, yeah. But come on, man. I mean, and I said to myself, put him in the center, watch how he changes. And again, look what happened. He goes in the center of the back three, it's been brilliant. So listen, I love Lacroix. I don't listen, and this is not an I like Anderson a lot. I did, but let me tell you something. Lacroix is a different level, especially the one-on-one defending. I'll skip the best of the three who I think till last. I'll go to Mark Gahey. I gave him an 8.5. He gave him a 9. Very quickly, I thought he was very good. I've already mentioned the one thing that he got spun by Muniz in that second minute, but after that was brilliant. I love the way he came out a lot of times to help Ty on the left side. Stat wise, passing wasn't great, 23 out of 34. But again, 6 clearances, 3 headed, 7 recoveries, 2 out of 3 ground duels, 3 out of 6 aerial duels. Defensively, Richards, Gahey, Lacroix have been absolutely brilliant. I think the stat is what? 15. Is it 15 clean sheets we've had this season now? Let me double check that as a club. It's not them, obviously. It's 13, 11 by Henderson, 2 by Turner. But again, the away form, what is it? 6 now away games that we haven't.
First team to ever do it
First
in
team to ever
England.
do it. Those 3 have been brilliant. But your thoughts on Mark Gahey? I know you obviously we all know how much you love him, but go ahead.
We've got 10 Premier League games and potential. Could you imagine Mark Gahey lifting the FA Cup in his last game for Palace? He would probably go down as our greatest ever captain, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Easily.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's not even much to say about him.
I know.
He leaves me. He just yeah.
Speechless. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's it.
Yeah.
And then even the interview after where he said like that's what we expect from Ebbs.
Right.
Penalty City.
Chris Richards. I gave him a 9. He gave him a 9.5. Why don't you go first? I thought it was brilliant, but you go first on Chris Richards.
So I was speaking with Pat when we do our ratings. Normally there's only a man of the match, but there's a man of the match I gave to someone because of certain things. But the player of the game for me, like Lerma was a close second, but Richards yesterday, I can't even count how many headers and blocks that guy. It was just I felt like everything that went in the box, he had his head on. Every single thing. He was flawless yesterday. And another thing when I was talking about, I know it's a term of phrase, die on that pitch, but like he was willing to put every part of his body on the line yesterday. And listen, when you're in the FA Cup quarter final, you rely on your players like Ebbs to create the moment, but the other 90 minutes and the hard, nasty stuff and the concentration that it requires, he was unbelievable. I was this speechless again by his performance. It's like he gets better and better every week.
Yeah, clearly, the strong side for Fulham is their left side with Willian yesterday and Robinson. But I know Robinson, which is a very good friend, I know that for a fact. He was so good yesterday against both of them. What I loved was a couple of things that stood out in my mind before I get to the stats was he had like back to back second half. There was a corner and a cross that he headed both of them out, and then the yellow card he took
Saved.
on Muniz. I didn't watch it. Was it a
Haaland
penalty?
missed the penalty.
Good. Good. But he was so good yesterday. Stat wise, you mentioned about the blocks and interceptions. So, 2 blocks, 9 clearances, 6 headed clearances. I thought he had like 15 of those, but he only had 6. 2 interceptions, 3 recoveries, 1 out of 2 aerial duels, 1, and he committed that 1 foul. He got the yellow card for Muniz, but he was so good yesterday. Like you, I could have easily named the man of the match. I didn't because I picked someone else, but him and we get to learn him in a bit were absolutely brilliant yesterday. And I'm so glad he's doing well. My only concern ever was him when Chalobah left was his injury record. It's not great. He gets a lot of hamstring injuries, but credit to him that he's been able to play throughout this whole stretch and has been, again, brilliant. So move on to Jefferson Lerma. We both gave him 8.5. Like you, I thought he was really, really good.
I gave him 9.5. I gave him 9.5.
Sorry, 8.5. Sorry, you're right. It's on the screen. 8.5 from me, 9.5 from you.
Yeah.
He was really, really good. You're right. I thought that that crossbar hit changed the game momentum wise, mentally, for the team. It showed them, yeah, we can get at this team. We are doing well. I thought Lerman was so good. He didn't give Lukic or Berg any time to kind of set things up either through the back four or get it out to the wing backs or sorry, their fullbacks. All over the pitch. Passing for him averaged 24 out of 35, but actually for him that's actually good. But again, 2 blocks, 1 out of 1 tackles, 2 interceptions, 6 recoveries. The block on the line, him and Saw, massive moment. But again, I was a little worried he was not being in there. But and the long trip that he had to get back from Colombia or South America, sorry for the game. But Lerma was brilliant yesterday. Your thoughts on Lerma?
I just don't even know where did that come from? The ability to, it's an early kicker. They got back 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's mad.
The manager must just install some sort of crazy mentality in these players because he had no right to put in a shift like that at all. It was ridiculous. The volley normally for some reason he's good at volleys. Like he always nearly scores screamers.
Remember, he had one that was earlier this season where I think Everton when the guy blocked it. Yeah, he's excellent. His technique is brilliant.
Yeah, but then like sometimes they just go well wide. But just everything. Normally it's long throw has got a little bit longer now. It's getting
better. I'm growing into that. I'm growing into. I'm liking more and more when I see him.
Yeah. He was just again. He left me speechless. It's just as a football fan to see players on your team with the will to win like that. It's just I know everyone loves like you said, the 30-yard screamers and the dancing in between 2 and 3 players. But then when you see players who will work that hard and like the will to win, and just everyone wanted Hughes to start. And then the one player who was replacing him was arguably the best player on the pitch out of all 22 players. Just shows the mentality of him.
And let
free transfer, by the way.
Right. I wrote down my notes. He had a key block on Anderson, had a long shot, which he blocked. Yeah. And also, he makes the pass to Eze to set up the goal for Saw. I cannot forget that. He makes the pass to Eze. So, now overall, one of his better games. By the way, he's due a goal. I mean, he's only got 1 for Palace to Chelsea goal, but I remember a couple of seasons ago for Bournemouth when they were struggling and he scored like 4 or 5 goals in like the last like 7 games. He's due some goals. And when he does, can't wait. Next, we have Adam Wharton. 7.5 from me, 8.5 from you. Why don't you go first on Adam Wharton yesterday?
I think the yellow card hampered his game a bit. just because and even that after the yellow card, he made that crash and slide tackle to win the ball, but that's his game. So you can't tell him to calm down because he plays on the edge. He's a
I
he's a
agree.
you, players like that you can't take out of them. They have to play like that, and his ceiling is so high. People might think that wasn't a great game, but it was a tough game. They're playing in the midfield too. He's still coming back, trying to get some momentum. As soon as he did build up a bit of momentum, there was the break, and he's away with the England on the 21s. He just
Right.
gets an 8.5 for that Maradona, and then chopped back in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, we need him firing on all cylinders for that semi-final because he'll be such a massive player for that game.
Yeah. I had no problem with him get. I thought the yellow card was a little bit soft, but I
It's
get why the
harsh. It's
manager.
harsh.
Yeah, it's harsh. I know people talking about, well, he's a little petulant. I don't see that in him. I don't see him being
He tried
petulant
to
for
get the
that. I
ball.
think
He didn't try and hurt
exactly.
anyone.
Right, exactly. And I like the fact when Anderson and somebody else, maybe might have been Berger, were talking to the referee. He was like, "What? Trying to get me a red card." I'm like, he's like, "No, he's trying to defend himself." So I love the way he plays. I've never had an issue with Wharton as far as the attitude or the way he plays. He
Hmm.
I love it. And again, he was very key yesterday. The Maradona is my favorite part of the day. But he had 6 recoveries, interception, dispossessed the ball twice. Passing was about the same as Lerma, so he was 16 out of 25. But I thought overall he's key because he's trying to make passes. Even the Maradona pass, he gave the ball away, but he's trying to make those forward passes to get us going. And no one else
Hmm.
really does that. Hughes does, but Lerma does or can't. So, and Evans is playing wide. So for me, he was key. And again, I thought he played well yesterday, and he was very a big part of what we did
Hmm.
yesterday. Moving on to Ismail Assar, Ish as Mark Gahey calls him. Gave him an 8. You gave him 8.5. I thought yesterday a couple of things. The stats are interesting, right? Because obviously he has the goal. His passing isn't great. He had 2 shots again. The goal, and then he had the one that was then was one block.
Quickly, how many goals did Elise get last year?
I had to look it up. I couldn't remember.
Let me have a look.
10 maybe.
Because he's on. I think he might be on a 9.
No, I can tell you what Sar's on. Sar's on. He's got 7 goals and 3 assists. So he got 9 goals all comps right now and 3 assists, which is mad. So he's gonna get
Uh,
double digits in goals and maybe
Elise got 10
7.
goals, 6 assists.
Well, I think Sar's got a great chance of matching that for sure this season. So, but I thought he played really well. The block up the line was big. He's always very good defensively. So defensively, he had 5 clearances, 3 headed. He had a recovery. Very good on corner kicks. But what I want to talk about, Louis, is his movement.
Goal,
I
1-0
remember,
Bournemouth.
I remember when D spoke about him coming in and him potentially being a striker. And I'm like, he's not a striker. His movement and his finishing is very much like a striker. I'll go to two things. The Ipswich goal is not an ordinary finish. That's a striker's finish. And for him to cut across the goalkeeper on that
Yeah,
for that header is what strikers do. Good strikers
that
do.
near post run.
It's,
Great header
it's
as well.
brilliant. It's brilliant. And if you watch him, we were there, the Fulham game. He makes that run on Munoz's goal when he's making
Yeah.
that run into the box. He makes runs that strikers make. He's a really good player. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was not impressed with the signing. I had no problem with it, but he has been so good for us this season. Yesterday, I thought he played really, really well. The goal was massive. His play in general was good. Again, defensively, he's always very good. It's underrated his defensive play. But I thought Saar played great yesterday. Your thoughts
Yeah.
on Saar?
Yeah. Unbelievable. Great goal. The first goal and the second goal in that away end was just. It was so mad. The second goal, nobody knew who even scored.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you probably went for the
Nobody
temple on the
knew
second.
who
Yeah,
scored. All
yeah,
you knew was that he was just a pile on people just falling on each other's necks and heads and yeah, and he's so calm and collected. He scored. He wouldn't even have think he scored. My only one pet hate is he's so fast. He just needs to kick it and run. He keeps the ball too close to his feet. There's so many times where he faces up to the defender, and I'm just thinking if you just pass it and chase
and go.
after it,
Right.
they're never going to catch you. But he keeps the ball a bit too close to his feet. But that's just his all round game. But yeah, no complaints. A goal, brilliant performance. Listen, what a signing again.
Yeah, underratedly great, not good signing, great signing.
Mhm.
My man of the match, your man of the match, Paddock Upside man of the match. Eberechi Eza, I gave him a 9. I gave him a 9.5. I'll let you go first. I just spoke on Saul first. You go. Your thoughts.
Yeah, it's that magic. He was the only player on that pitch who had the ability to score that first goal and also create that second goal, because Sander Berge is like forcing him onto his left foot for that second. And he's like, okay, I'll just stroke it into Saar. And I really like the first finish because he bends it, but he puts so much power on it as well that it just dips. And even when he shot from where we looked, it looked like it hit the post and came out a little bit, but it kind of hit the post and went across, didn't it? It just hit the net and kind of came back out again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't care. He could have done nothing the whole game. If you produce those 2 moments and send your team to Wembley, you're man of the match. You might not be the best player of the game. Like I said, I thought Richards was our best player over 90 minutes, but you are the man of the match, because without you, we don't go to Wembley.
Agree 100%. Again, I mentioned it during the preview show. Moments, and you need moments to get through big matches, and he came up with the 2 biggest ones at key moments in that match. The goal's brilliant. Great pass by Mitchell, but all the work is to be done by him. He's got to get that shot off. A lot of times that shot's been blocked this season, but I think the England call up gave him a lot of confidence. You could tell how happy he was after the game, after the goal.
Yeah,
I loved Mateta's run across the keeper because that helped shield him a little bit. Also, Anderson shielded it, so it's perfectly placed to beat Leno. And then on the second goal, take him to the byline again. 99% of the time, or maybe not that many, but most of the time he hit it outside of his right foot and curl it. Berger wasn't giving him that. He uses his left foot, curls it. Beautiful run across the keeper by Saar to finish. And that was it. At 2-0, I was never worried about them coming back. But he's, again, very few touches. The stats will make you laugh. I mean, 6 out of 13 ground duels won, which, again, he's working so hard defensively. But he only had 31 touches, and his passing was 7 out of 8. He only had 8 passes, and one of them didn't. I mean, it's amazing. But like I said, I thought Fulham did a great job of trying to nullify him, but it didn't work. I mean, they definitely tried to keep him out of the game by double teaming him and denying him the ball, and even attacking on the other side of the pitch. And as I said, it's all right. Give me a moment and I'll score. Give me a moment and I'll assist. And he did it. So that was brilliant. So man of the match, great job by FDS. I thought it was brilliant.
I loved his celebration as well.
It was great.
And then a little dance.
The shush and then the dance. It's perfect. JP, 7 from me, 8.5 from you. Very quickly, I thought that he looked rusty, clearly, and he would be, and he should be based on the injury that he had. But I thought he worked really hard. He won that free kick that led to the Lerma shot with the short routine from Eze to Wharton when it came back. Tried to link up the play really well. Was almost got that goal, like I mentioned, the Lacroix header from the corner. He's right there at the keeper, and he makes the run across the keeper for the Ebbs goal. But I thought that contribution by JP yesterday was very, very good. And again, I'm glad he's back. But your thoughts on JP?
Yeah, I think he done the job of, he made it Nketiah's job easier when he came on. Absolutely, he's 6'4" and he's just a nuisance. There was a couple plays in the first half where he linked up the play really well.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. I don't think it was. It was a really tense game, and he's, like you said, he's just coming back off that injury, bit rusty. No competitive game for 4 weeks, a month out, basically.
Long time. Yeah.
Plus, as much as I don't think that the little thing around his head was that annoying, it might have affected him. Just normally you don't play with something across your face.
Exactly.
But yeah, listen, no one's getting lower than 8.5 for me.
No way. Let's go to the subs, because 2 of them made a massive impact. 2 of them didn't. So let's actually go to the ones that, real quick. Devaney, obviously, I love the fact that he's getting these minutes, but obviously no impact. França, I want to mention him because you lot, I could hear you were singing the song before.
They thought it was Klein.
But they love that song, don't they?
Yeah,
they love that song, don't they?
do.
I mean, so I love the fact that the fans, if they bring it out before he was on the pitch, and then obviously
listen, our fans, our singing doesn't make any sense. We're still singing AJ's Magic Hat. Like, we need to let that go.
No, we're not gonna do that. We're not doing that.
No, please. But we don't even have a song for Mark Gahey.
Yeah, true. Or Joe Ward, by the way.
Or Tyreek Mitchell.
Yeah.
or Chris Richards.
So let's
and
let's
and the
let's
Wharton
get
song. We've given the worst song ever for Wharton. We're giving him the Adam Wharton. I'm like, come on, guys,
you
man.
wait. You know HF. Talk to them. They're the ones
No,
that
I
lead the singing. Talk to
don't.
them. Anyway, Eddie and Ketia. I gave him an 8. You gave him a 9. What a performance in very limited time. 20 minutes on. 4 out of 5 passes, but I don't care about that. The goal. Kamada, great ball. Eddie, great run. Love the body shape. Love the body
Yeah,
shape on that. How he fakes. He knows Leno because remember they played Arsenal together.
yeah.
The run by Saw in the middle again gives him something to think about. Is he going to cross it? But great finish between the legs. And gotta give him total credit again. Has not had a lot of match time. I wish D was on here so we can give him. Well, D, when you watch this, we're going to give Eddie praise now. So calm down. He's done really well. He scored all competitions again. He scored in the cups. He scored in the league. Limited time, but he's produced. And as I mentioned to Hamber yesterday, wouldn't it be amazing if he just keeps scoring goals as we head up, head to
If he
the,
just gets, if
Wembley?
he finishes on 10 goals,
Oh, man, yeah, man. So your thoughts on Eddie?
yeah, I thought it was a great finish. The disguise on the finish was great. If you was to pick one player, apart from maybe like Franco, to come on, and to be fair, you saw in the group chat when Eddie came on, I said Eddie's going to seal it for us.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had a feeling.
yeah.
But D doesn't want it because he wants to create this
Right,
rivalry about
right. He's trying to. It's very forced.
Nketiah.
We
But
get it. It's very
I know
forced. We get
he
it.
said I've got receipts. I was like, no one's bad mouthed Eddie Nketiah at all. But yeah, well done D for sticking by your man. Well done. This is
I agree.
well
Fair.
done for sticking by him.
Yeah,
But none of us had anything bad to say about Eddie.
exactly.
He's competing with one of the most informed strikers in Europe, and again he's come on and taken his chance. And maybe that's the formula going into. Maybe he gets the start against Southampton on Wednesday, and
Like
Mateta
that, but
starts.
we'll see.
And
Yeah,
Mateta starts against Brighton. You don't know, but
right.
both our strikers are scoring now, so
Mate,
that's
yeah,
the
on form.
main thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, great finish. I love the fact that he then it was the icing on the cake, and he got a lot of plaudits, and he got to do a celebration, the Wembley call in. So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
happy for him. It's just like a
Yep.
massive confidence. But all of a sudden, people are saying, "Oh, that was a great signing by Palace. Oh, 25 million is the going rate for a
Yeah.
decent backup striker, this and that." And the whole narrative changes, and his confidence changes, and he now believes the manager's going to put him on, because before he didn't even come on against Fulham in the league game.
Right.
He didn't even come
Right.
on.
Right. Chilwell came on exactly. Chilwell
There
came
you
on.
go.
Devaney
So
came
it's
on. I'm
just
pretty
it's
sure.
just
Yeah.
all
So
round. I'm happy that Saar, Klein, Devaney, Franca, and Ketia Kamada all got to come on, because it makes them feel like it's the whole squad's involved.
contributing. Yeah, and I will say, he's definitely a confidence player, and he's definitely full of confidence right now. So good for him. Lastly, Saba, the player I'm very happy for again. Kamada, 7.5 from me, 8.5 from you. I'll go very quickly. I'm just glad again he's getting on the pitch, he's contributing, and that's a brilliant pass. He's 5 for 5 in his passing, but what well this guy's pass comes on, helps seal a game. Great balls to Eddie, and again, I'm just really happy that he's coming on and making a contribution. I would have had no problem if he starts against Southampton. Let's say again, preview coming up during the week. But your
I'm
thoughts
guessing
on Kamada before you go on to the manager?
yeah. I was so happy. Great ball. Funnily enough, the goal. The reason why it didn't look like craziness in their way, and because everyone thought it was offside,
Offside, yeah, yeah,
because where everyone's looking at that side of the pitch, no one was looking at Bassi on the far side. So to us,
exactly.
so
It was
he's gone
close. It
through.
was close. Yeah,
He scored. I'm thinking, oh, the flag's gonna go up. Flag doesn't go up. Then it goes in. We're going mad. Then everyone's like, oh, I don't want to celebrate in case it's not a goal. And then it was just like it's a goal. So it was a bit of a weird one, but yeah, that's when and then the anxiety was gone, and yeah, we could enjoy the last was it last 10 minutes,
yeah,
and
about 75.
we
So
could
yeah,
just we could
15
just sing
plus.
songs about Wembley for 20 minutes.
Wonderful. And lastly, the manager who's taken us to Wembley, Oliver Glasner, both gave him a 10. Real quick, tactics spot on again. I don't have a problem the way he sets up as far as soaking the pressure and then making adjustments as necessary. Um, Great job with having the confidence in certain players, like you just mentioned, and Ketia and Kamada come on, it reaches the start. Um, subs were great. Again, getting those guys on and getting them to contribute to the win. And again, he's just, and you know what I really liked yesterday. I don't know if you watched the post match press conference. One of the reporters
Yeah,
made a comment about our league form, about our not caring. He's like, no. Our league form is as important as our cup form, which is
yeah,
again his mindset is it's elite. He doesn't want he doesn't have that silly this is a we can't win this game, whatever. He's elite mentality. He's a great manager.
yeah.
Looking forward to seeing him go up against Emery in the semifinal. Should be very, very good. Both very good managers. But your thoughts finally on our manager?
Listen, I don't know what more I can say about this guy. He's all I can say is I just hope he leads us to glory how he did Frankfurt, and he can listen. Just give me that FA Cup, man. Just I'll die a happy man. Listen, after watching Newcastle give us our parade in Croydon, give us our parade in Croydon. That's all I want. And he's so humble. Like you never see him
Very humble.
taking
Yeah.
the plaudits, even after the game. You can't even see Glasner when the players are coming over. He's just standing, clapping behind his staff. There's none of this taking all the glory. He like he says he's nothing without his team.
Right. Great manager. So anyway, thanks everyone. That is the player ratings. We'd love to hear your comments in the below. Leave us a comments. I'll be happy to read them and comment back. Like and subscribe. We will be having content obviously for the Southampton match. There'll be a preview, maybe live, not sure, and there'll be obviously a match reaction. Not sure if there's going to be a watch along for that. I doubt it's a midweek game. We'll see. But again, thanks for everyone for tuning in. Appreciate all your support. And from me and Lou, that's it. And up the palace.